I have a 10-point plan, and I'm going to look at my notes as I am creating this podcast because I want to make sure I get everything in. And I hope that you can take at least one or two of these tips and use them to your advantage so that this academic year is a great one for you.
Buckle your seatbelt and get ready for the podcast that will take you on a special journey designed to elevate and empower your cross-cultural appreciation for communities around the world. Hello, I'm Carole Copeland Thomas. I'm your host of Conversations with Carole, the weekly show that connects culture with collaboration and community. Welcome aboard.
Now, the reason why I want to do this is really starting with tip number one, and that is the slate is clean. When I think about school and the academic preparation and starting a brand new grade or brand new program that you're in, I'm looking at the opportunity for you to start brand new, start from scratch. And that's what the important point is in terms of the slate is clean. I love school. I did very well in school. I loved September because, in my instance, way back in the dinosaur era, should I say, it was a time for new pencils, new paper, new sharpeners. Everything was going to be new. You had new clothes that you were going to wear or clothes that you had saved up and you were saving for this period of time. So it marked a new beginning. So not only do I love January for other reasons in terms of visioning and starting to do from a calendar year, I really look at September as not a new calendar year, but a new fresh start. And that's why how I want you to really think about September or August if you've already started, that this is a time for you to start anew and start a new opportunity for you to do really well in school. So the slate is clean, and I want you to look at it that way in terms of your mindset. Number two is that last semester or last year, that's gone. You can't bring it back. And as the song in Frozen says, you have to let it go. We have traumatic experiences, things that have happened to us. Gosh, I can remember way, way, way back when on the playground falling off the monkey bars. And I now have, I think, a fear of heights in many instances because of that experience. But you can't dwell on that. What happened in the past, you just have to let it go. Don't carry the weight of the past into this new chapter. Whether you soared or struggled last semester, it's done. It is gone. Let it go. And now it's your time to move forward. And one thing you may want to think about doing is to create a set of positive affirmations. Now, what are affirmations? They're sayings, they're words, they're phrases, they're sentences that you can say to yourself, such as, I know what happened in the past was a teachable moment, but now I have an opportunity to do things differently. That could be an affirmation. Or, although I had difficulties in the past, I know that I have opportunities right now that will move me forward in a positive manner. So you can create your own affirmations that will give you the fortitude, give you the energy that you need to put whatever has happened in the past, lock the door, and move forward so that you can really focus on your future, focus on where you are right now, and move accordingly. Now, the fresh start begins even stronger when you're prepared. So let's talk about some resources. Number three is to secure your resources early. In other words, get stuff that you need so that you won't be scrambling mid-term. In the days that I was a graduate student at Northeastern University here in Boston, it was I can't believe it was that long ago, but it was a while ago. They were on the quarter system. I don't think they're on the quarter system now, but it meant every 12 weeks that quarter would end and you'd move to another quarter. Things moved very quickly. So a quarter is 12 weeks. So if by week 6 you were still struggling with what happened with lesson number 1, you were in trouble because you had to really catch up to what you needed to learn, and then keep up with what was going to happen for maybe the remaining 5 weeks before the final exam. So, based on whether you're on the semester system, the quarter system, or whatever kind of system you're on, you want to make sure that you get all that you need, get all of your resources together so that you will not fall behind. And I have here in my notes textbooks, lap books, laptops, study guides, and even emotional support, which is probably more important than all of this. Get all of that information early. Now, you know, if you struggle with some math equations, then you need to get help and you need to get that kind of support or study guide at the beginning of the term, not in the middle of the term when you know things are getting much more difficult for you. So start early, focus not on your weaknesses, but look at the areas of improvement where perhaps a book, a study guide, someone that you're talking to, a YouTube video will be of support and help to you. That is number three. So get the stuff that you need so that you will have the peace of mind. We're talking about mindset to really move ahead. And then number four is the discipline of routine, study, and research. And great students aren't made the night before the exam. I know we all pull in the all-nighters and we study for the exam. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about using your talents and your abilities in a way where it will bring out the best in you. Success comes from daily discipline. All these years later, in the business that I'm in as a speaker and a trainer and a consultant, I know that a lot of the marketing that I do has to be done on a regular basis, on a daily basis. The research that I need for the clients who I work with, that has to be done in preparation for meeting with my clients. So, all these years later, with what I learned in school, I'm still using those skills so that I can be competitive and valuable to the clients that I have. So, great students aren't made the night before the exam, as I mentioned earlier. Success comes from daily discipline. Setting aside consistent time for study and research turns information into real knowledge. Now, it means that maybe you've got to pull yourself away from your phones, text message, TikTok, whatever it happens to be, and maybe you need to just push that aside so that you can focus on the material at hand and focus on the lessons that you really need to master. And maybe it's just a little bit of information or a different kind of a strategy or methodology that you need. And perhaps you need to go to the library or go to a very, very quiet part of your house or go outside where you can get away from a lot of the distractions and prepare your mind and prepare yourself and really clamp down and do the amount of work that you need to do. Perhaps early morning you're a better person in terms of learning, or maybe it's late at night. You figure out which time of day works for you and use that to your advantage so that your study time, the way that you can prepare your information will be exciting because you say, oh, that's what I need to do. Oh, that's the time period in history that I need to remember. Or that's the equation that I need because you are open to new knowledge. You are open to receiving information so that you will be a better student. So remember that these number three and number four are really important in terms of getting the resources that you need and getting them early, and then the discipline of just regular study and research. When I was I'll go back to graduate school again, and I did this when I was in undergrad as well. If you are in college, higher education, I found a quiet spot in the library just for me. Quiet spot. I would go there and I would just hang out there as long as I needed. Yeah, I may take a nap for maybe 10, 20 minutes. Nothing wrong with that. I'd wake up refreshed and then I would plow ahead, read the material that I needed. Again, it was so far back. We didn't have cell phones back then, so that was not a distraction. So maybe you need to put your phone away or cut it off or whatever so that you can really dig deeply into the study. And so your mind will open up and will fill you with the new information that you need. So keep that in mind. Those are really, really important. All right, now there's some tools and habits that will help you that really addresses technology and the importance of it. It is AI is not always your friend. I will repeat that. That is tip number 5. AI is not always your friend. Artificial intelligence can assist your work, but it can't think for you. I will repeat that. Artificial intelligence can assist your work, but it cannot think for you. Use it as a helper, not a replacement for your creativity, reasoning, and originality. Julie Holmes is an AI expert. I have her book. I now use some of the tools that she's talked about, have a lot of respect for her. And the one thing she said to me and to a class that I recently took was think of AI as your intern. Some of you may be interns. Some of you may be becoming interns. So you are an assistant, you are there in a supportive role, but the intern is not running the program. It's not running the department, is not running the classroom per se. You're an assistant, you're a supporter, and you have to look at AI that way. AI is not always correct. I use AI now fairly regularly. I've gone from becoming a doubter to becoming someone where I understand its power and the importance of its power. But I have caught AI. I use ChatGPT quite a bit. I subscribe to it now, where sometimes the information is completely wrong, and I will tell it, no, that's not right, and it will come back and say, oh, yes, you're right. This is the information you're looking for. So everything that is spewed out of AI, whether you're talking about cloud or Google or ChatGPT or whatever platform you're using, AI platform that you're using, you cannot depend on it 100%, which means that you have to use your brain. You have to think. And if you see information that's being shared, and you're going to use that information on a report, you better double check. You better check with other sources to make sure that the information that's being shared with you is correct. Now, obviously, you don't want to use AI to write all your papers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you're using it as a support mechanism, you have to verify the validity of it, the accuracy of it, so that you will present yourself and present the body of information that you're using in a meaningful manner. So it is not always correct. It's not your boyfriend. It's not your girlfriend. It's not the advice giver where you're just going to believe it 100%. Again, I just heard about a tragic situation where a young person felt that AI, ChatGPT, or whatever platform they were using, they were getting mental advice, emotional advice, and unfortunately, they took their life as a means of escaping whatever they were facing, and they found out that AI was significantly a part of this young person's life. We don't want that to happen at all. It is a tool. We didn't have AI when I was in graduate school, when I was in elementary school. We did not have that, and we did fine. So use it as an intern, use it as a support guide, but you do not want to depend on it 100% because it can be wrong. It can give you wrong information, and you definitely don't want to be in that position. So that is important. Number 6, find a study buddy. Ho, 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 ho. Find a study buddy. We are stronger together. A study buddy keeps you accountable and helps you see problems from new angles and reminds you that you are not in this alone. Now, for those who are in college or graduate school, and they probably do this to some extent, probably with high schools as well, is that you will oftentimes be put in a group, either a group or you will have some kind of study buddy that you are a part of. Again, way back when I was in graduate school, that was a very necessary part of graduating. You were in groups, you were with individuals who would help and support you, you would help and support them. You learned a lot about group dynamics as a result of this study structure that they have. They're still using it. I would definitely say it is of value to you, or you can be in middle school, you can be in high school, you can be obviously in college or graduate school, but having a paired experience with another person and studying that way can be very, very helpful to you. Again, that's how I got through graduate school. Really, I'm good in school, and I get good grades, but graduate school really taught me about life. That sometimes the courses you take are very difficult, and yes, you can fail, as I did, but I still graduated in 2 years and one semester later, according to the plan that I had set up. But I had to get wise and I had to learn to lean on other people. I worked with African students. I love my African classmates. I was married at that time. I had young kids. This is in graduate school. I would have my African colleagues. We were part of a study collegium together. I'd cook. We'd all sit down and eat, and then we'd study afterward. I had that to happen over and over again. So, whatever your circumstances, whether you're having a study experience over a meal, whether you're at the library, whether you're outside, oftentimes working with another person or a small group can be very significant for you. Now, the accountability option and the importance of this whole concept of studying together and teaming, I use to this day. I've been in business almost 40 years, and for the last 24 years, I have an accountability partner. She lives out west. We come from very different backgrounds, but for 24 years, we've hung tough with each other. I'm an African American, she's white, and we go after business opportunities. We look at our business opportunities. We look at the way that we do business, and we support each other. And that's been going on for 24 years. I have been in significant mastermind groups, which is just the study buddy experience sort of extended to your real life. I had a wonderful, wonderful mastermind group called Ebony Speakers for some 14 plus years. So I've had these kind of experiences replicated in my life that have been very, very beneficial to me. And it all started in my case, in graduate school. So absolutely find a study buddy. Now, speaking of support, the right teachers can make all the difference. Seriously. Teachers are human. Teachers have their favorites, and they have those who they're not so favored to or toward. So you have to make sure that teachers are more than just lecturers. They're guides, and seek out those who challenge you, inspire you, and bring the subject alive. I think about my Mr. Carpenter was his name. He was my eighth grade teacher way back when. Man, he just brought subjects to life. I think I had him. He did. His name was Spencer Carpenter. And I can see it right now because he wrote his name on a piece of chalk that I kept for a long time. He was my inspiration. So I've had inspirational teachers in terms of my own life. I have a whole family full of teachers. My mother was a teacher, guidance counselor. My grandmother was a teacher before she got married. I have aunts who were teachers, so I have lots of teacher stories, and I have taught on the graduate level. So, yep, I know all about that, but having the right teachers can really make the difference. Now, if you are in high school, you don't necessarily have that selection process. You may, from an elective perspective, but some of your other subjects, it just may not be there for you to make those decisions. But trust me, I'm talking to my granddaughter who is who's a senior in high school, and she'll be going off to college next year. The next year, when you're in college, yes, you can pick and choose your teachers. And if you have your study buddies, as we just talked about, people you know and you trust and you like, they can, and they're upperclassmen, they can give you suggestions about which teachers to take and which teachers not to take. This was very beneficial and helpful for me in order for me to graduate with my MBA degree, because the upperclassmen told me which teachers to take and which teachers not to take. And in some instances, they said, don't take that teacher, not sure about whether they will provide you with the right information, or if they'll support you, because I'm not sure racially how supportive they are of people of color. So they gave that kind of information. So that's really significant in terms of picking your teachers wisely. And that's not to say don't shy away from tough teachers. Tough teachers can sometimes be your best teachers because they can bring out your brilliance. So don't shy away from them. But if you are in higher education, again, look at some of the ratings. They now have these websites where you can go and see how these teachers rank. You can look at that information. So get teachers who are fair, who are honest, yes, and maybe they're tough, but they will bring the best out of you. And then there's some teachers who just need to be avoided because they just, maybe they're not up to skill, they're not, maybe they need to retire, or maybe they just don't have the right kind of information or the teaching skills that will bring the best out of you. So that is important. Number 8 is um, go in with don't go in with a negative perspective or a pessimistic mindset, because that can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yep, your attitude matters. And if you expect failure, you're likely to be met with it. But if you go in with positivity and determination, and you'll set yourself up for success because the mindset becomes a reality. If you are telling yourself in terms of self talk, I'm not going to pass this class, I don't like the teacher. I don't like my classmates. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. And this is the first day, then you need to have some kind of self correction in place. Maybe you can take another class. Maybe you can drop this class. And again, I'm talking about higher education. But if you're in high school or middle school, then again, your attitude and your fortitude is going to be so, so important. You have got to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you have what it takes to succeed. You have to believe that whatever you don't have, then you will get it, acquire it. You'll be able to find the books. You'll be able to find the information, the YouTube video, or the TikTok self-inspirational moment or whatever. You'll get the resources that you need to succeed in your classes. You will have that. It really means that self-talk has to be deep down, coming in from deep down, and you believe in it. Every morning, I have an affirmation I share, and I say to myself, every morning I have that. I have a Bible verse because I'm a Christian, and then I plow away in terms of writing in my journal. So I have a routine set up so that I am prepared for every day. And maybe it is saying, I know that I may have problems and challenges that I'm faced with, but I know I will have, and I'll be equipped, I'll have the resources that will get me through those troubled areas. If you put it like that, then you're saying that, yeah, every day is not going to be rosy. You're going to have some issues and some challenges. Yes, some of the formulas that you're working with, or the sentence structure, or the reporting, or writing, that may not come easily to you, but I am going to master what I need to master. I am going to put myself in a position where victory will be mine. You've got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability. And let me put a caveat there. You want to watch comparing yourself with others. That is so important and so powerful, because when you compare yourself to other people, woo, it'll get you in trouble. You don't want to do that. You just want to believe in yourself. And if you have to compare with someone, compare with yourself. Compare with what you did last year versus what you're going to do now in this year. So it's so important to have this positive mindset, and again, push that negativity aside. And number 9 is faith is powerful and prayer is powerful. Whether you are a believer in a Jesus and Allah, Jehovah, a Buddha, higher power, or you're questioning that, or even if you don't believe in anything, you still can have the faith that power comes with. Faith and power can be very, very powerful. and can fuel and empower you into action. So, again, as I mentioned earlier with tip number 8, is that I wake up, I have my moment of prayer. I have my affirmation. I journal first of all, and then I have my affirmation, and then I have a passage of scripture that I read to myself every single day, and that keeps me wound up and ready for action. And I know in some instances, and I've said this to myself a couple of times in life, in some instances there's no plan B. It's that you have to believe totally in yourself. You have to believe in plan A because plan A will get you through, and lifting yourself up in terms of a higher power is a real significant way to make it happen. And then number 10, put all this together, is you can do it. And you have to believe in yourself. You really do. When doubt creeps up, silence it with confidence. Remind yourself, I can do this. I am capable. I belong here. Probably going to do a podcast on that, whether you feel like you fit in. Belief is the engine that drives persistence, and persistence creates success. Years ago, I wrote a book on empowerment, and the motto was empowerment begins when I believe in myself. And you can add on faith if that is your forte. But empowerment begins when I believe in myself. You've got to believe in yourself. You hear that, my women friends and my girl students? You have to believe in you. Other people can believe in you, but you have to believe in you, and you have to believe in yourself to the extent that this back to school experience is going to prevent any doubts to come in to throw you off track, but it's going to open up your mind so that your mindset is going to be so excited and so driven and so committed to success that you are going to have a successful academic year. So those are the 10 tips I want to share with you. I'll read them quickly again. The slate is clean. That's number 1. Last year is gone. That's number 2. 3, you want to secure your resources early. Number 4, you want to create the discipline and the routine of study. Number 5, AI is not always your friend. Number 6, find a study buddy. Number 7 is if you're in graduate school, pick your teachers wisely, or if you are in high school, maybe you have that opportunity as well. Number 8, don't go in with a negative or a pessimistic mindset. It can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Number 9, faith is powerful and prayer is powerful. And then number 10, I can do it. Believe in yourself. Those are your tips. I hope that will be helpful. Please share this with those who are in school. I'd love to have this shared with others, especially if the road already is kind of rocky for them. Give this to your friends and your colleagues and use it for yourself, and you can apply it to your job if, in fact, you are already in the workforce. Thank you so much. We will talk soon, and I hope this mindset and your mindset will open up to brand new possibilities. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Carole. Spread the word and tell friends and colleagues that this podcast is tailor-made for them. Make sure you subscribe, and we welcome your comments and reviews on your favorite podcast platform. Visit us at CaroleCopelandThomas.com and listen to all of the episodes and learn about my speaking services there. Thanks again, and we'll see you back next week for an exciting new show. See you soon.